Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. I'm Chuck Wooden, I'll be your host. We have another great show tonight. Actually, to begin with, I actually had this all planned out to talk. I think for the viewers, I think you should know that we were shut down for 2 years. And tonight marks the beginning, the comeback of the Veterans Corner. We did over 150, 140 plus episodes prior to COVID, and we're excited to do more, probably another 140, bring into the viewers. So this is a great day right here. This marks our beginning, our comeback, the next chapter.
Let's make it big.
So welcome to the viewers. Now we have with us today, we have the members of the VFW. I think when we were doing the show in the past, we had members here before. I forgot, it was so long ago. Do you remember who? I think it was from the department.
Yeah.
It was?
Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we like to bring a lot of the past guests back to, to give updates and to remind the viewers of what you do. So, right now we have, on my far right, we have Lee Wilson. Lee is a District 3 commander for the VFW. You also hold the commander position at post 1926 in Simsbury, Connecticut. And I say Connecticut because some of our viewers are actually across the country.
Cool.
So, and next to Lee is John Blume.
Yes.
Welcome. We actually met for the first time tonight. John's a life member, and he's a quartermaster for the post.
Yes.
At 1926. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're looking for another very informative show. A lot of people out there, they're not familiar with what the VFW is. Actually, a lot of the service organizations, the VSOs as we call them. So let's get into this. I guess I'll start with you, Lee. What is the VFW, and what does it do for veterans in Connecticut?
Well, the VFW stands for Veterans of Foreign Wars, was chartered by Congress in 1899. It's the largest combat veteran organization around, and membership spans the globe. We're an elite group of combat warriors, men and women, who have each other's back long after the fight is over. We specialize in comradeship and empowerment. But what do we really mean to me? We share a common bond. We still serve the nation with honor and dignity, being part of the worldwide organization. Anywhere we go, we can find a veteran who understands what it means to have been in a situation that requires us to be part of a mission that is important to our future.
You had mentioned a word, and I'm not just bringing this word up because we were stumbling on it earlier, but the camaraderie. And for those that are not veterans, that's key amongst the veteran world, camaraderie. And I think we're going to touch base on that a little bit more, a few questions down the road.
Well, if you spend I was in 8.5 years, you spend 8.5 years serving with people by your side, they're like your family, so it's a bond you grow.
I mean, in a lot of those situations, your life depends on the person next to you. And so that's why that bond is there. Another one, Lee, what kind of special services are there for the veterans?
Well, there are many. For example, I like to promote the Sports Clips Help a Hero Scholarship and the Unmet Needs Program. These two focus on providing continuing education for our veterans and grants to assist basic life needs or people suffering financial hardship. But there's one more that's important at this time. As you know, 22 veterans commit suicide every day in this country. 22. That's a number that we as a service organization want to lower quickly. We're proud that the VFW Mental Health Wellness Campaign, dedicated for educating its members on the importance of noticing 5 signs of mental health in veterans, who many be struggling with these tools to help veterans that care their needs. Briefly, the 5 signs are personality change, agitation, withdrawal, poor self-care, and hopelessness. And probably the highest priority is life. We need to preserve that for our heroes.
You know, you had mentioned the 22, and how many times does the public hear it? You know, on commercials and all that. That number is not accurate.
No.
The 22 has been around for a long time, and that's a day, I might add. It's 22. They say 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and those numbers do not include many portions of the veteran community. At one point, it did not include Texas. I believe it was Texas.
Yeah.
It did not include the National Guard, and the National Guard they're the ones that are activated now
And reserves.
and deployed. Yeah. I mean, it's you know, those areas. You know, hopefully someday we can get a more accurate number. You know, versus the 22.
Well, a lot of people think that that's our older veterans that are committing suicide, and it's not. It's the younger ones that can't get the services they need from the VA hospital or the VA services. That it's just a problem because a lot of them get hassled about it and turned away, and they think that this is the only way I can make it better is to commit suicide.
Yeah, and I mean it's you know, it's like with first responders. A lot of times it's not just the younger active ones.
Yeah.
It's the ones that never reintegrated into, I guess, society.
Well, we were always taught that if you're an enlisted and a sergeant, you don't have a problem. You don't have a bum knee or anything.
Yeah.
You're hurt. You're still getting your
Power
job
through
done.
it.
And if you mention that you have a mental condition, you're out of the military, and that's the end of that. And it's not fair that they get treated that way from something that happened while they were serving our country.
Is it still like that now? I know that it was like that.
It got better, but it's still. I just had a friend of mine graduated Marine Corps boot camp, and he said it was pretty tough.
Yeah.
You know, they treat them pretty bad.
There's been so much focus on that. A lot of us were under the impression that that's been changing some. The stigma wasn't there.
Yeah.
But the stigma's still there.
Yeah.
It's just hidden.
Yeah. They don't tell you. A lot of people don't tell you about it because they're afraid of how you'll feel about them. And I got a mental condition. Oh, I can't get my weapons permit, or I can't, do this, that, and the other. And it's just they're afraid to mention that they have a problem, and then, it escalates, and then that's the way they check out.
Yeah. The next question is actually a two-parter. How does someone join the VFW?
Go ahead, John.
And what is the standards for eligibility to join VFW?
Well, I mean, for someone to join, there's many different situations where you can have. There's poppy drives out there, and people come and talk, and we just talk conversation about what they went through, what they struggled with, what they need, and we work with them to get the connection that they need to get the help. But also joining, I just take down their information, and then I just follow up with them with an email or a phone call or a text and say, hey, just letting you know, just want to see how you're doing, and then either sometimes slowly get them into the post, or sometimes they jump right on it and I want to join, I want to do this, and I want to get right part of it. I mean, I have a couple members where they're already getting. They have a member already coming under them. Yeah. So I mean, some people it's already coming fast, and other people it takes a little while, and they want to know more about it. So I'll explain to them what we do, and just how they can help out, and they don't have to be at every single meeting, kind of thing. Yeah. And just to kind of take down their thoughts and of what it's all about, and then some of the. Lee has some of the methods for attracting. All
the honorable service, must have served in the armed forces of the United States, either discharged as honorable or general under honorable conditions, and or currently serving, and service in a war campaign or expedition on foreign soil. That's the VFW. It's foreign soil in hostile waters. And if you have an idea you want to talk about membership, you can always check out our VFWdistrict3.org website, and halfway down the page, there's a membership link. There's also a link on there if you want to send me an email. It comes to me, so just reach out. We're here to help you.
You were talking about the poppies. I don't think there's anyone that's been to one of the big supermarkets or the smaller local ones that hasn't seen veterans out there selling poppies. And
Not selling.
That's
that's
one of the
that's right.
myths,
Donate.
Giving away.
Yeah, it's
And
actually
when
one of the
they
myths.
donate for
They're
us,
asking for donations.
anybody can get a poppy, but they don't have to donate.
'Cause they're already paid
It's
for.
just,
Having been involved with the American Legion, even up to the state level,
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And I misspoke when I said.
Well, we're having 3 poppy drives this year at Fitzgerald's in Simsbury, Memorial Day weekend, POWMIE weekend, and Veterans Day weekend. So if you want to talk to us, or no, the weekend before, sorry,
Yep,
all 3 of those. And if you, like I said, our website, VFW1926.org, also has a link on there to contact us for any kind of questions.
Yeah.
So please reach out.
For those veterans out there that are thinking about joining, it's not just in this area. Like I said, this show is actually seen between podcasts, YouTube, from coast to coast in some areas.
Well, VFW.org is also our national website, and it has that same link on the same page.
What I'm getting at, wherever you may live, when you see VFW members, Legion members out there, stop and talk to them.
Yeah.
Stop and talk to them. It can't hurt. So, what are some of the? Actually, this is a big one. Having been involved with the American Legion and traveling the state, what are some of the myths about the VFW?
Bunch of old guys sitting behind the bar drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
We in Simsbury don't own a post. We're called homeless. I'm also, like I said, the 3rd District Commander, and I take care of 20 posts. And I bet out of those 20, there's only 5 of them that have a bar.
Yeah.
And they're struggling. They're getting back on their feet after the COVID hit. But and now with the new rule that you can't smoke in there anymore, it's back to a smoke-free environment. And come in and sit down and chat with a couple of guys sitting at the bar, you might find out that you'd like to be part of it.
I mean, being a district commander of the Legion in District 1, it was 34, and that's the largest district in the state.
Fighting first.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Which Simsbury's part of.
Yes.
I'd visit a lot of the posts that don't have, the bars or don't even have a post home, and that's what we call it, a post home. If there's no physical structure, they may meet at church or Masonic. Where do we meet?
Masonic Home.
Masonic Home
yeah.
up in Simsbury. Tells you how many times I've been to a meeting. I need to get out there, right?
We'll keep you posted.
April 9th.
April 9th. What time?
Well, 6 o'clock probably, because we think we're doing dinner.
Going to meetings. I just went like this. What were we talking about? You ever do that? You're up there and all of a sudden, boom, it just disappears.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's a lot of the stigma that's attached to these veterans organizations. People think that that's all it is.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of veterans getting hammered.
Yeah.
These VSOs, Veteran Service Organizations, do so much for not only the community, or not just the veteran community, but the community itself. I know post 1926 does a lot for Simsbury area.
Yeah. Well, we had 3 poppy drives last year, raised quite a bit of money, and we turned around and put that out to 3 or 4 of the places that are helping veterans get over the PTS part of it and get them back acclimated into being in a group, not in the military.
Yeah, and we also do the fly-in at Simsbury Airport. We also try to get out whenever we can to like the Meadows and other events that are around. We have a booth that we set up, or like if there's like a Memorial Day event, we talk to people on the side about what they have been through, what they would like to do, if they'd like to do something to help us out, and yeah, I mean, and always trying to hand out poppies so that, I mean, even to kids, and then explaining to them the story of where the poppy came from, because a lot of people don't understand where it came from, what
there's a big
this
story
spelled. So it's, I like to explain it to the kid just as much as the parent, because then they teach their parents, and it helps keep the information going and intrigues.
I mean, we don't have enough time in this show today to talk about that. Maybe down the road we will. But if for more information on poppies, they can find it online. And it's definitely an interesting piece of history that everyone should read. There's so many success stories in regards to the services that the VFW provides. How do you feel when you make a difference in a fellow veteran's life?
I'll give one story. I mean, it actually, what you were talking about earlier was we've been in COVID and we haven't been able to meet closely, but TikTok has really kind of kicked off. And there was a guy on there that was like, hey, we need to help this guy out. He's a veteran, da-da-da-da. And I basically reached out to him on TikTok and said, hey, what's going on? And we started a conversation on the side. I don't know him from anybody. And it was just really kind of cool how he now went from like just short of basically killing himself to turning his life around, and you could see it in just his TikToks and the conversations we were having. It was better, so that kind of thing. It really is heartwarming to hear how someone changes their life around just from a simple conversation.
Exactly.
And it's just really interesting. And like other stories.
Another a veteran reaching out to a veteran. There's that bond again that we have, and usually a veteran reaching out to another veteran can talk about things that they have seen and done, and the other veteran understands their issues they're having and the way they're feeling. So if anyone's out there needs to reach out, like I said, you can get me on VFW 1926.org and email me, and I'll respond and help you as I can.
Well, I mean, there's also that wall. I mean, a veteran is really, most of the time, they're only going to talk to another veteran. And even then, it takes a while to get them some of them to open up.
Right.
And because it's a trust issue. But once they do, it's extremely rewarding.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To sit there and throw that life jacket out there and bring them back.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of rewards to it. We were talking about post 1926, and we mentioned some things now. Is there anything how long's post 1926 been around? Roughly, I mean, just.
I think we're going on 66 or 77 years, 67 years.
6+ years.
Yeah.
You asked me somebody I wasn't playing for.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Well, the states the state VFW is having their 102nd convention coming up in June. So it's a lot out there, and I know that a lot of the other posts are struggling and not surviving, but we're still strong, and we're working on membership. So anybody that's thinking about joining or has any questions, please reach out.
You're talking about the membership. I mean, I used to go around, and I'm sure you do too, as a district commander, trying to get the posts to think outside the box. The generation before us got us there.
Yeah.
It's our obligation to get to the next generation there.
Well, we've got to cross that bridge. So some of the younger generation now, the guys that just have served, I've been told by a bunch of them, I don't want to be in a bar. I want to be outside. So we've got to figure out how to do things outside to bring them in to us, where we can work together, because it's important that we help each other and make each other stronger.
Each generation has its own characteristics. I mean, when we got out, you did go to the bar. Like you said, nowadays that's not the case. And let's face it, nowadays is a healthier scenario.
Right.
Because as a lot of veterans have found out, that's not the way to go. But it's thinking outside the box and getting the new generation in. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
but it's a challenge that needs to be taken.
If there's a veteran out there that needs help, reach out to a veteran. We're here to help. I mean, that's our biggest hurdle, is getting to you to talk and trying to get you to understand that we're all here in one and trying to make a difference.
Once again, in the beginning we were talking about camaraderie, and we said we would touch base on it, later on in the questions. It's important in any veterans organization, as we've already discussed. What are some of the ways you have found that might be effective to improve camaraderie amongst the members?
Having more functions outside the bar, getting out in the community, doing something, cleaning up the cemetery, getting ready for putting our flags in the cemetery, help clean up a park. I mean, that's a lot of them are out there. They'll go hiking on the trail, and we'll pay, doing maintenance on the trail. I mean, it's whatever you. I mean, if you're out there and you have an idea, come and we'll talk about it. We'll make it happen.
Cookouts, town cookouts, local cookouts, friends cookout.
Yeah, any way to get together and do something, it's out there.
Now you're talking about the trail, the bike trails.
Yeah, well, the bike trail or the hiking trail.
Like
up at the Tucker Mountain.
Okay.
We did. Me and John were trail coordinators, or whatever you call it, for CFPA, which maintains all the trails. And we were went up Simsbury Mountain to the tower and down. State commander met us up there, and it was fun. We're probably going to do that again this year if I can get enough people together to do it.
And once again, the big word, it's rewarding.
Yeah.
We've probably got, 3-4 minutes left. Is there anything else that you want to put out to the viewers? Share stories or anything that crosses your mind?
John?
Well, I mean, with my new career, I work for Customs and Border Protection now, and I see people every day on the border. And when I see military members, I'm like, hey, how'd you serve? Where'd you serve? What branch you serve in? And I start a conversation with them about that before I even ask a question about where they're headed to or anything like that. And I had one the other day that actually I got him interested. He's about to retire, and I talked him in thinking about joining Customs and Border Protection, but I also have conversations with people all the time, and I'm like, hey, have you ever thought about joining VFW or American Legion? Yeah. And that just plants a seed, whether they keep talking to me or they keep walking, but at least it plants a seed of thought in their head of, hey, maybe I do want to help out an organization. And they see the young face that is out there and say, it's not just a whole bunch of World War II people or veteran or Vietnam, and we love having them, but we're starting to lose a lot of that membership. So we're starting to try and have to shift it to the Gulf War and Persian, all that, and basically trying to bring them in too. So we're looking for anybody that wants to help out, join, have fun, do things.
I mean, one of the things, as far as we'll go back to membership, is some of these organizations like the American Legion and the VFW, there's certain requirements. Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you can join. Mm-hmm. I know the American Legion, didn't they just recently?
Oh, it's everybody. It's wide open. Especially for the last 21 or 22 year war we just had. The war on terrorism. Anybody that was served in the military but didn't deploy can join the American Legion. For you to be a member in the VFW, you have to have been on foreign soil.
Yeah.
And one thing to remember: if you served in Korea 30 days consecutive or 60 days non-consecutive, you're still authorized to be in the VFW because Korea is still a hot zone. So, and in sub, if you're on a boomer, a nuclear missile sub, you're automatically authorized to be in the VFW. So, and if you saw hostile fire pay on a foreign soil, you're authorized for the VFW. And like I said, contact us, we'll talk about it, and we'll figure out a way to make it happen.
Okay. I was trying to find out how much time we had left, and I just got a clear message this time. That's all the time we have, and it's always a pleasure to have you guys here.
It's been an honor to be with you. I know we had talked about it before you got shut down from COVID of me being on your show, and I'm glad I was able
to make it. And you know what?
I'm coming back.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you back. We do have to wrap it up real fast. We do have a certain amount of time, just like you say, okay, that's a wrap, we got to run, and that's what we have to do
Absolutely.
right now. So on behalf of the Veterans Corner, thank you. On behalf of the Veterans Corner, we want to thank the viewers for watching. Till the next time, this is the Veterans Corner. Good night.
Welcome, I'm Nick Augustino. I'd like to welcome you to the Clam Box, where we do seafood our way. We got lobster roll, fried clams, fish and chip, fried shrimp, and our famous onion rings. We put a lot of precaution into the safety for you and your family. Not only do we use plexiglass at the cash register and sanitizer, we all wear gloves and we all keep a 6-foot distancing, and everybody must wear a mask. We carry all the options. We got DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, and of course, we got curbside where we bring it right to your car. Online ordering is available at clamboxnewbritain.com or by calling us at 860-357-3118. The Clam Box, 586 West Main Street, New Britain.